Hello and welcome. I'm Veronica Papacosta, CEO of Seafood Industry Australia. Joining me here today is Cameron Scadding and Catherine Campbell from Source Certain.
Hi, Veronica.
Hey, Veronica.
Source Certain is SIA's newest member, and today we're going to learn more about them and hear about what led them to join SIA. So Cameron, can you tell me a little bit about Source Certain and your role in the company?
Thanks, Veronica. My name's Cameron Scadding. I'm the founder and managing director of Source Certain. We're a science and technology business headquartered here in Western Australia, and we've been working with the seafood industry for a number of years, supporting them to build trusted and transparent supply chains. And we do this using one of our technologies which enables us to determine where seafood comes from. And so we're really excited to join SIA and take the technology to a wider audience.
Thank you so much. And Catherine, how about you?
I'm Catherine Campbell. I'm the CCO at Source Certain. I'm responsible for the commercial strategy, which also involves business development, industry stakeholder engagement, marketing and comms.
Fantastic. Well, look, you've certainly been doing a lot of fantastic work with the seafood industry for a while now. And many people wouldn't know how far you spread the services as well beyond seafood. So Source Certain is Australia's leading scientific provenance testing and verification service for seafood, but also across broader agriculture, mining and the resource sector. So seafood has become a key pillar of the company. And can you share with me a little bit more about how this came about?
Yeah, so the seafood vertical for us is probably our most mature supply chain offering, and it came about because I think largely because of some support we actually got from seafood really early. And so, as most of your members will have probably seen or heard from us, we have quite an advanced offering with wild Australian prawns, and that particular offering we've actually been doing for sort of 6 or 7 years now. And so because of that long time that we've been working inside the industry, the commercial service that we offer has matured. And over the last sort of 12 to 18 months, we're getting really solid engagement from seafood, both at sort of that policy end in terms of how we build these transparent and trusted supply chains, but then also by industries, following the lead from Australian wild prawns and actually trying to build these transparent supply chains that consumers can trust. And so I think it's a combination of partnership as well as just where we are in our commercial journey. That culminated in us sponsoring Seafood Directions last year and what was effectively a brand launch for us. And so the timing of then joining SIA, I think it's just, like I said, it's just a reflection of where we are and the progress we've made in seafood.
So here's an off-the-cuff question, just preparing you. Traceability is becoming increasingly important to the food supply chain, and definitely seafood's not left behind. Often our members and people in the industry might wonder at the return on investment. So what do you think is the leading driver of adoption of traceability? What do you see, and what do you see with the companies that you work with?
Yeah, so I think it's important to delineate too. So the whole notion of transparency can be quite intimidating, I think, for supply chain stakeholders. And I think one of the things that I'm probably the most proud of is sort of the work we've done with stakeholders to help them to kind of embrace not just technology, frankly, but actually just the commitment to wanting to be more transparent. When you come out of that transparency conversation, you end up ultimately in where does our food come from conversation, and traceability is a key tenet of that, right? And so what I would say is that food or agri-food generally is reasonably advanced in terms of their capacity to understand what that means and the fact that it needs to be done. In terms of the drivers, as your members would know, there's little doubt that the consumer is moving to a place where they have higher expectations. I don't think we necessarily know yet what those expectations are, or I guess the granular nature of those expectations. But what we are seeing as a business is that because they're moving, the regulators are moving as well. And so what as an observation is that what would be good for business anyway is going to actually probably be mandated in some form. And that mandate's not because they're trying to add a cost to business, they're mandating because we need more transparency because of those consumer expectations. And so I would encourage seafood not to be intimidated by that though, because actually a lot of that work and thinking is done. I think probably the key thing to try and do is to embrace some sort of technology provider that's willing to work with you. And obviously we're putting our hand up to do that. And to incrementally move to a place which, is where the consumer wants you to be, which is, I just want to know more about where my food comes from.
Absolutely. And Catherine, from your perspective, in that operational sense, in seafood businesses adopting the technology?
Yeah, I think seafood businesses are wary about brands. They spend all this time and money investing in their brand, and they've got a story to tell about their social license, how it's done, where it comes from, and that's all got to do with its provenance. We also see consumers, I think, wanting to have the option to buy and support Australian seafood. So when you've got a market where you've got vast amounts of imported product coming in, that's fine. But I think consumers want trusted retailers, trusted labelling, and the ability to make the choice.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you so much. And I really want to thank you for joining me today to record this. I think it's fascinating for members to understand the options that are available in this space, and being early adopters or even just getting ahead of the curve in this instance, I think is a really strong message for all seafood businesses. So it's been a pleasure talking with you and learning more about your interest in the Australian seafood industry. So for anyone watching who isn't yet a member of SIA, I encourage you to visit the website and join the SIA tab to find out how you can come on board. So thank you again to Catherine and Cameron.
Thanks, Veronica.
Thanks, Veronica.